They're not hearing it anywhere else. Liberty is infectious. And don't tell disinformation, because then, you know, you'll get caught so quickly. We all know who those shills are. Chris Freedom Flowers is exposing them. He's on the low right now because of all these criminals that have gone after him, like Apollo and others. Shutting down his Facebook page 16 times. These criminals from the NSA. That's right. I'll call you out. We know who you are.
And they shut us down now.
And they shut us down too. We had problems too. We Are Change Connecticut, 5,000 members. Gone. Boom, like that. One day it just wasn't there. Then our Facebook, excuse me, our YouTube channel had unlimited. We could have put this whole broadcast in one thing. You could have just watched the whole broadcast. Nope, not anymore. 15 minutes at a time. No warning. You just go on there one day and you just can't use it. Hacked constantly. What does that tell you, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, what are we doing? Are we talking about what? Corruption? Right?
Yeah, well, we're
truth.
Well, yeah, and that's what scares them because you know, they're
exposing the criminals.
They're so used to everybody worrying about the celebrities and sports, you know, that they're not used to this. You know, same thing like when they made the internet. That's why you got was it Kissinger or Rockefeller? One of them saying, you know, one of the biggest mistakes they made was the internet. Because they didn't expect...
John Rockefeller III said, yes, I mean, maybe it was the biggest mistake we've ever made, yes.
Because what happened is they expected everybody to be watching porn and buying stupid shit. They didn't expect that there would be...
Well, that's why they created it, so that they could sell you all the porno and all that.
And to watch, attract things.
Exactly, absolutely true.
Yeah.
More distractions, ladies and gentlemen.
But people are not, you know, are using it for power, which is learning things by learning the truths. So this is an exciting time, and I expect a lot more things like this going on. More people doing shows, everything getting bigger. And like I said before, I would start doing the political stuff. No matter who you like, you should just go and start talking to people. And again, that's the best place, I find it, to meet people that you want to meet. The people that are sitting home watching television, not getting off their couch, they don't really matter. The people that are out there protesting or at tea parties or whatever, they're people that are motivated. You just gotta, they just don't have someone telling them the answers, and that should be your job, whoever's awakened, to go and point these people in the right directions. Don't waste your time on the sheep. Find the people, you know, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. Find them. Go to town hall meetings. Meet, you know, become friends with your neighbors and your town. That's what we're doing basically. Like Waterbury, you know, Waterbury's big. Is like considered a city.
It's 3 times the size of Torrington. I know the mayor of Torrington. He's 29 years old. Nice guy, and he's good. Ryan Vinny. And I think honestly, I got to tell you, the city of Torrington, you know, as far as I can see, is as compared to everything. I think it's the least. I don't know, I hate to say this because Connecticut, I've discovered this over my several years living here, is an extremely corrupt state. But I got to tell you, you know, aside from a little bit of nepotism, which is, you know, sort of like, you know, lineage when families have sort of, you know, that kind of thing that goes on, taxes are kept as low as possible. The services are good. So I really can't complain. The mill's not out of control. Waterbury, on the other hand, has more fiscal problems.
Well, because it's like a big city.
There's 100,000 people in Waterbury and 35,000 people in Torrington, so it's a big difference. But
what I was saying is we're basically going to the town hall meetings. We got the library we're at. Now we're talking to the mayor, to the aldermen.
And we're going to go from...
We're all going to be known in Waterbury.
Exactly. And go from Waterbury to Middlebury and to Torrington and to Thomaston and to all of the communities, especially the communities where we have members that live. We have, I think there's several, well, we have about several members from Torrington. We got a few members from East Hartford. We have members from Middletown. We have members from Meriden. Where else? No, that are on the Connecticut chain. That was, and then they're starting a Hartford chapter, and it's going to grow. because people are awake in all the other towns, and we're here as the focal point of the state. So when if you can go to wearechangect.org and get all the information you need to start your own chapter and who you got to do and what you got to do, how you got to do it. And we encourage it, because that's the only way we're going to stop these criminals is by uniting against them. It's simple as that.
I seen a guy driving a car yesterday right here in Connecticut on 84. Guy driving with Ron Paul stickers all over the car, big stickers. Ron Paul doors in the back, beeping, waving. I'm holding up a sign.
It's crazy.
So, you know, it's cool. There's a lot more people than you think.
A lot of people want liberty, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's, you know. It's it's the idea is that they understand that we're slaves, you know, and that we're being manipulated, and it's not a class warfare either. It's not. You shouldn't be like, you know, angry at your doctor because he drives a BMW, or your boss because he's got a Mercedes, or whatever it is. You know, it's not about that. But they want you to make it. They want to make it about that. It's about such a higher level of wealth above those people that those people are being fleeced. As much as you're being fleeced, they're being fleeced too. And then what they do is they fleece them by taking the money out off of them, their wealth, siphoning it off to the top again, and blame and say that and get the lower class to say, "See, we're going to tax you."
Yeah, they love doing that.
They love doing that, and it hurts business, and it keeps unemployment low. I mean, higher. You see, that's what they do. It keeps the unemployment rates up because they don't have that money. That money's going to taxation instead of going to well, they're not going to spend the money. They're just going to hoard it. They want business.
Say that again too about Obama. What is it? 1.2 billion more.
Oh, and that now another stroke of the pen is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Obama is passing another $1.2 trillion. He's requesting to raise the debt ceiling. What was that? Fucking 2 months ago they did this. $1 trillion a month. Come on! They're destroying our country intentionally. Fucking assholes. Anybody that doesn't get this, I swear I get so angry. I mean, this is that point. Every show, I get to that point. But we came early today. What are we? 31 minutes in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, but it's true. I can't stand it anymore. I just can't stand it. I really can't stand it.
Well, the thing that upsets me the most is, honestly, I keep saying it, the police, man. Even coming here again, they're just everywhere, pulling people over, pulling every truck over. There's just so many police all over, and there's no crime. There's nothing going on. You got a bunch of fluoride heads sitting in their house. Why are there police everywhere?
And then a couple of crazy people. You know, there's always going to be a bunch of crazy people doing crazy, stupid things. But I mean, but crime rates are down. Absolutely true.
There's nothing going
Incarceration rates are up. Absolutely true.
And they're just sitting there pulling over everyone. You know. And everybody knows you go to
and now gasoline prices, all of a sudden gasoline prices are like, Hawaii is the only state that has higher gas prices than I heard that today.
Really? I didn't know that.
Hawaii is the only state. Imagine that, Hawaii? Someone I can't understand. It's all because of the taxes here in Connecticut on gasoline and now all of a sudden again Malloy he has a small surplus. Our governor, small surplus projected, a couple of million, I don't know, 30 or 40 million. But meanwhile, they're taxing us at 6.35% on everything now, instead of 6%. Doesn't sound like a lot, but 3/4 of the stuff that wasn't taxable is now taxable. So stuff you were never paying tax on, you're now paying tax on. Things that made it attractive to stay in Connecticut, like if you were to go to buy a over-the-counter medication, you paid no tax. Where I mean, I know I lived in New York, it was taxable, but now they're just evening everything out. They're trying to level everything out through the socialist programs, which is, unfortunately, the Democratic Party is really, you know, like
Communist Party.
Yeah,
it's Big Brother.
But it's Big Brother. But it's not. It's even worse because it's also the neocons. See, it's Big Brother. They're the Big Brother surveillance, control, and the neocons are all about making war. So you're working together. They got the people under the thing and the banking. Banking owns both interests. That's how it works. You understand?
Yeah, and let's talk about that. Now that you said that, you reminded me of something to bring up. We all know about Obama and his ties to Wall Street and all the backing he gets.
Right.
Actually, look at who's getting it right now. His name is Twit Romney over there, who's getting all the Wall Street money.
Oh yeah, of course. They just shift their.
So that shows you right there who's going to be, you know, the next
guy.
Man. Mitt Romney is their man, and they're actually giving more to him than Obama, which kind of shows to me that they're getting ready to make Twit Romney the next president.
Yeah,
and,
they're trying. there's something in the stack. Since we're touching on that.
Well, let me read this first one because you brought this up.
Yeah,
I wanna say
where was that? You know, just what we were saying. I had something about him. Yeah, why is, and this is Obama here, we got to go on this. Now, we know about the Iran thing, right? We're going to go into this whole thing much later in the story, but since, in the show, but you know what's going on right now with that, right? And we're talking about this, but look, he was running against the idea of giving Saudi Arabia these packages, you know, in a 2008 declaration. Nothing is more important than us no longer borrowing $700 billion or more from China and sending it to Saudi Arabia. That's what he said. That's what our president, current president, said to get elected. Said, nothing is more important than us no longer borrowing $700 billion from the criminal fraudulent bankster Federal Reserve and sending that money to Saudi Arabia. And guess what? Apparently it was the borrowing part that really irked him, not the arming of the gender apartheid theocratic dictatorship. This is from an article by David Keyes in the New Republic from the other day, from yesterday. And the justification for the arms sale is simple. The deal will provide 50,000 jobs. So, spend $700 billion, excuse me, a $60 billion package to put, again, a loan of money, F-15 jets sold to Saudi Arabia, part of a $60 billion package that'll give 50,000 jobs. Now, what is the cost per job? Think about that. That's ridiculous. It's insane. It's good PR. It sounds good, but if you do the math,
they make everything sound good.
It sounds good, right? Doesn't it? Wow, yeah, 50,000 jobs and $60 billion. Wow, oh my God. Wow. That's unbelievable. I mean, think about that. It's something like, it's like $1 million a job or something like that. It's a high number. Why don't you just buy it? Why don't you just give everybody the money? Why don't you just take $60 billion and give it to everybody that's out of work? Divide it equally.
That would stimulate the economy too.
Oh my God! There's so many solutions, but they just why don't you?
No,
why,
they got to give it to their family and
they got to give it to their people. Yeah, it's criminals. Anyway, go ahead. So then that was just some. So this article by David Keyes in the New Republic from January 12th is titled "Why is Obama Selling Arms to a Theocratic Dictatorship?" Which is Saudi Arabia. Okay, that's why.
Well, he's told to.
He's told to. He's told to. And this is similar because he pushes for the largest ever deal.
The media used to always say how Bush. The media used to love to throw how Bush was tied in with Saudi Arabia, but
and this has nothing. And
they won't mention Obama with them.
And they don't talk about their human rights problems. I mean, look from this article itself. It goes into the fact that America wants stability no matter what the price. You know, and it doesn't matter if they torture their women and.
They talk about oppression with the Muslims. Saudi Arabia is the worst out of all of them with oppression and control.
And guess what? That's where all the 9/11 hijackers came from.
That's our best friend out there.
And they're our best friends. So we can't say anything about them, just like you can't say anything about Israel, or you're an anti-Semite. Mm-hmm. Come on, these criminals are really horrible, ladies and gentlemen. They've got the whole world basically, bamboozled to believe that that these pigs in Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. Now I know because my aunt had her brother, who's really I guess technically my uncle, but it's by marriage, had a that's phone. Can you grab that? That's somebody's calling in for the show. Probably having trouble getting through on the 772 number. Doing some of this transition work is going to take a little time. We still I don't know if we have the phone numbers routed yet. Right. So I did give out the number to some people on the internet as far as it being, you can call 860-806-1295 and call in with any comments that you might have for this show. And I'm just astounded, again, because it's all about, this deal with the Saudis who, again, like I said, I had a family member who worked in Saudi Arabia for like 15 years, and he was an engineer, and the people were horrible people. Is exactly how he described it. But the money was incredible. So basically, he worked for a globalist company. I mean, I was a kid at the time, but I remember that, and they lived in Manhasset, Long Island. That's where he lived, and he literally spent. No joke, I'm not kidding. He was gone for 3 years at a time in Saudi Arabia.